When I was on ChatGPT, I noticed that there was a little microphone button, and I pressed it, and I realized that you could talk into the phone and have it type up everything. And now, till now, I've always just typed by hand. I'm quite good at typing. I mean, I'm making loads of spelling mistakes, but a lot of the spelling mistakes are just like me pressing the wrong button or and not seeing the change. And it kind of just occurred to me, why am I not just talking into the phone and getting it to type out for me? This is something I could have done years ago, so why haven't I? I don't know. Yesterday I was working on the thing and I actually kind of liked the typing because I felt like it made me slow down so that I could think properly. But yeah, when it comes to something that I'm doing now, which is, my higher self has controlled the birth dates of when singers were born. And I've noticed, because I've put them all in order of their birth dates, and I've noticed that there are some birth dates that are the same day or one day apart, and they seem to link together. And when I first made this list, I was kind of explaining why I think the ones that are in July and August and September should be exposed first, and why the ones would be near Christmas. I was writing it out like that, and I was talking about it that. But when I kind of went through it, I realized that it's not just having them all on different days, but there are some days that are joining, and it might actually be I've got nothing to do. I've got nothing else to do. There's a thing that I might go to at 6 o'clock, a church free meal. I like the idea of a free meal at church, so I'm probably going to go to that. But yeah, I'm going to have to pretend to be a Christian or pretend to be interested in Christianity, and yeah, I like going because it's just they had. I like to see what's going on in the church, and I feel like they were very more modernized than I remember the church. So I'm going more as an observational thing. But yeah, mainly I'm going for the free food. But yeah, I inspired the Bible. I deserve free food. And the church has done nothing for me except for this. So I'm going to go and appreciate it. But yeah, before I was going, I was just thinking, why not just go through these and talk about like why I think certain things are together. Um, the angel of them who deserve to die most, and angel of God the Father's trap kind of makes sense because that's the people that get caught in the trap are the ones that are going to seek a different realm, seek death, and they, even if they aren't the ones that most deserve to die, they're the ones that you need to believe that they're the ones who most need to die. Why? Because not believing that is only going to make you angry and make you, hate this trap that God the Father, whoever, just a group of people, whoever set that up, people, if you believe that those aren't the people that most deserve to die, then you're just going to end up in riots and fights and stuff like that. And therefore, I feel like it's important that I explain why why these people are born on certain days, and that would be one of my explanations. The angel, I named them all angels before I realized what their birth dates was. I always name them first, and then at the beginning I named about 300 and then just put them in order, and I was like, wow, in birthday order, an order that I don't know because I have no clue when their birthdays were and stuff. And I noticed there was some sort of pattern. It's not necessarily a pattern. It's just when there's people that are born on the same day or one day apart, there seems to be a link. Mostly, not always, but mostly. Well, always with the same days. When it's one day apart, I feel like the link is slightly less. But there's still a link there, and I feel like they've been put in an order because my higher self wants me to talk about why my higher self has put them in this order. Why are they next to that person? I know there's Angel of God's 7-year tribulation, and 2 days later, Angel of the Broken Society. These are the two negative names, but that there's 2 days apart. That one's on the 2nd and one's on the 5th. Actually, it's 3 days apart there, and if there's 3 days apart, then it kind of there doesn't seem to be any specific pattern. So then they're all scattered all over the days, but when there's a similarity, Angel of Broken Society, one day next to Angel of the Bullet, I feel like this is what's going to result when a society is broken. It resolves in war and bullets and truth mixed with lies, which is also on that same day, you know. So I feel like I just want to go through it and explain it, and because I hate typing, my thumb's actually really hurting. It's going like that all the time on the computer. It's kind of hurting my thumb. So, but yeah, it's easy just to talk, and then I'll post it on Facebook, and then I'll take the bits and actually make sense of it by putting them in this, putting them underneath what I'm talking about to explain. But yeah, it might take me a few days to do that actually, but I've got nothing else to do, so why not? But yeah, Angel of the Clubs and Angel of Fun makes sense. They're both but on the same day, and Angel of the Spirit of the Antichrist and Angel of No Change. Well, that makes sense because the spirit of the Antichrist is just against Christ, and well, because I haven't been alive over the last 2,000 years, you know, my spirit has lived throughout the whole timeline, and it's not changed because my life was always going to be the way that it has been and was always going to end up, you know, it might have changed over my lifetime because I'm on earth. When you're on earth, you can change, but when you're not on earth, it can't change, and therefore the spirit of the Antichrist cannot change because, well, ever since Jesus was the one that kind of, A.J. Miller in his past life was the one who kind of created the Antichrist spirit, because he created a Bible that was kind of about him saying that he's Christ, saying that he's God when he's not. So this created the Antichrist spirit. But yeah, once the Bible was written, that was it. This is going to be the spirit of the Antichrist, and it cannot change for thousands of years. So I understand why it's in the angel in the category on the same day as Michael Jackson, which is the angel of no change. But then if I look at it from the positive, it's the angel of man's spirit versus angel of change. And well, yeah, the angel man's spirit can change because man are alive, man on earth, and you know, the society, as time passes, society changes, hence man changes as a general because their culture or their principles or their beliefs change. So his positive names, the two positive names of these two people, they link together well, and the two negative names, they link to work together well. They link together well, and you know, I think I could write a whole book about this. I definitely could, but you know, I think I should. I'm going to do it basic now, and just talk into this because yeah, it's one of these things where I don't really want to do, but if it's just talking into a computer, talking into a phone, then I feel like I don't mind doing it because it's very easy, and the sun has actually gone right now. It's all cloudy. You can't see it, but it was. Oh, there's a little bit of patch. There's a patch there. The rest of the whole sky is cloudy except for that tiny little patch up there. But it was a bit sunny already. We haven't had much sun. It's been cloudy for the last 2 days. But anyway, and yeah, Madonna is angel of. I could even speak it, but I don't know. Should I bother doing that? Just go through them all now and speak. You know, angel of the bullet of. I think it's probably best to start off with the positive, but as soon as I click on this, I'm going to lose my. I like looking in the camera, but yeah, angel of necessary action mixed with truth or lies and the word of God. You know, that's important because there's some things in the Bible that are necessary and there's some things that are not necessary. And that's what it shows. And then angel of contradicting statements with angel within the light. You know, I feel like there's one day apart on that one, so they're not quite as similar as some of the others, but one day apart does mean that there's some similarities. And I guess being in the light can mean being in knowledge or being in truth, or it can mean being dead and having your soul actually be in the light, in the sun, whilst you're sort of unconscious and waiting for a new body to be conscious. You know, so I don't know what it's like in the light, but do you have consciousness in the light? I'm going to guess no. I'm going to say no. I think when you get older and your soul is bigger, maybe you have more consciousness when you're in the light. I think this is the difference between when you're ready to move on to the next stage and when you're not ready. Yeah, it's a contradicting statement, being in the light, because it could mean being in knowledge or it could mean being dead. Two very different things. And then there's angel of the furnace mixed with angel of justice. I get those two because sometimes death is what's justified. If someone deserves death, it can be justice. Being dead and being in the furnace can be justice. And God's main representation mixed with angel of prophecy, or God's main representation is supposed to mix with, you know, prophecy and stuff. But yeah, when it comes to the negative names, it's different because her negative names are a slutty version. Madonna's is a sluttier version of God and false prophecies, and they're like that. Those are the two negative names. I'm not speaking properly. Those are the two negative names, and I feel like they link together because not everything Madonna says is going to be a prophecy or pathetic. So yeah, it's important that there are false prophecies within real prophecies, or perhaps you just misinterpreted or misanalyzed a real prophecy and seen things that shouldn't be seen or believed. But yeah, angels with lots of energy is angel with the mafia and angels of the next level. You need a lot of energy to get into the next level, completely get that. And angel of the mafia, well, I think there's going to be a lot of angry people that want revenge. And I think there's also going to be a lot of people that want to save Earth. And I think they are going to be full of energy when it comes to reducing the population, which is not something that many people would want to hear, because in fear of they might be the ones that go. But anyway, angel of things I'm not is perfect with angel of imagination. They're both on the 19th of August. That connection is supposed to show how I'm not the god of the people's imagination. You know, there's a difference between the god of the imagination, things I'm not. I am not imagination. I'm real. I'm not a real. So I'm thinking I should write it down first, actually. Talking about it is making me like kind of want to not write it up. If I write it up first, then at least I can... I think it's more important that I write it up rather than just say it on a video like this, because I look a bit silly when I'm on this. But Angel of God the Mother and Angel of Tolerance and Intolerance, they are a really good match, because there's some things God the Mother wants to tolerate or can tolerate, and there's some things she can't. Can she change anything? There is a different matter in this. And she, God the Mother, those two are actually one day after Angel of Many Names, which kind of hints at how Angel of God the Mother has many names, and this is why she has many angel names as well, because they're all different parts of her. And yeah, Angel of the Clubs mixed with Angel of Fun. Clubs are supposed to be fun, and that's why they're both born on the same day. So it's crazy to think that I have a friend, and you know, I told him yesterday that I've created another angel of the church, and he asked, "Oh, so what makes her the angel of the church?" And I was just like, "Oh, because she's fat like a church." And like, I know what he's thinking. He's thinking that is the only reason why I think Lizzo represents the angel of the church, because churches are big, and so is she. You know, I know that's exactly what he's thinking, and then it's just like, no, that's not it. Her songs, one about temple, which actually sounds like it's calling temple, and feeling herself whilst in a church. Obviously she's the church because she's feeling the church while she's saying I'm feeling myself, whilst sort of stroking the church seats, and then just all the songs linked to it. And it's strange how I wouldn't just tell him that. No, she's the angel of the church because I listened to one song and it looked like she was representing a church. And then I listened to all the other songs that I've never heard before. I think I've heard a couple. I haven't heard that. I'm not really a fan of hers, to be honest. But yeah, it's just strange how I don't think he'd believe or be interested. And then I could show him things like this. You know, wow, look, I came on this and I was trying to show how all the things are deliberately linked, and for some reason my brain just started saying silly things, because it felt to me that he was just thinking this is just silly, and therefore I felt like maybe I should just say silly things. Oh yeah, she's the angel of the church because she's big and fat like a church, because that was what it felt like he wanted me to say, so I ended up saying it rather than go into the actual details about why she's the angel of the church. I hate people, and I hate being around people, And it's horrible how I can see so much, and yet I can't tell anyone. I can't actually, if I'm going to a church ceremony, there's this free event card that they came through. If I go, will I actually tell them this? No, I won't. I won't. But I need to go just to see what the church is doing, see if it's better. It's interesting now. I created Angel of the Church yesterday, and it happens to be one day before this church meeting. It's a 3-course dinner that they're providing, but the food was amazing last time I went. It was a few years ago that I went. It was amazing. It was around lockdown, actually, just after lockdown. It was very, very nice, but it was so nice that they didn't give that much, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I could have eaten like 10 of them, but it was very, very nice. But yes, I think I was I was fullish after the pudding, but yeah, there's quite a lot of people in this group, but it would be interesting to see what the church is up to. I think it's called Anchor Point.